Hello and welcome all of you to our YouTube channel. Today, in this video, I'm going to explain you how to create a summarized table in Microsoft Excel without using sophisticated techniques such as VBA or pivot tables. This technique might come in very handy when you need to get simple things done in Excel quickly. So, without further ado, let's jump into Excel and see how it's done. Here we have the sales data from our previous tutorial, and this time I have added some new data points as well. You can see there are more states here. Last time we only had the state of California. Now we have another 4 or 5 states here, and we have some more data points as well, right? So our end goal today is we need to create a summarized table from this existing data without using the pivot table option, right? So to be more specific, I'm gonna summarize the sales data by salesperson into a new table, right? Here you can see the final output. I have 5 rows here, that is each row for a salesperson, and then I have the total sales column, that is, for an example, say for Robert, you have 61,700 bucks, that is the total sales amount done by Robert in all the states, right? It's as simple as that. So how to get this done without using pivot tables? Okay, so let's go to the working file. Here I have the same data set, only thing is I don't have the summarized data here. Let's create that summarized table here, that is the name and total sales, name, and then I'm going to have the total sales column, right? Now let's say I want to get the total sales done by Milan across all the states, right? Milan is here, yeah, total sales. To get this done, I'm going to use a formula called a sumIF, right? That is sumIF. What sumIF does is, sumIF sums up a data range based on a condition. That is why it's called sumIF. It only sums if a particular condition is met, right? Otherwise, it doesn't do anything. But if the condition is met, it sums up the particular range, specified range, right? Let's see how to do that. I'm gonna accept the autocomplete suggestion here, sumIF, and then we need to give the range, that is the data range where you have the data that needs to be summed up. Here, this is my data range. I'm going to select this entire range, and it's important to lock the cell reference here, because just in case you are copying down the formula using the fill handle, if you don't lock the cell references, that will mess up your formula, right? So to avoid that, I'm going to hit F4 and lock the cell references, and then I'm going to type the comma, and then you need to specify the criteria, that is the if part in the sumIF. Okay, so here the criteria is, intuitively it is the name of the salesperson, right? That is the salesperson is the criteria. You need to sum the total monthly sales figures based on the salesperson, right? Or in other words, you have to pivot the sales figures around the salespersons, right? That's what we are going to do here. So the criteria is obviously Milan, that is the J3 cell. You don't need to lock the cell here because it should be dynamic, and then comma, and then you need to specify the sum range here. So the sum range is the total monthly sales column. That is obvious, right? I just select the entire column and then hit F4 to lock the references, because this also should be a static value, static reference, right? Then I'm going to close the brackets and hit enter. See, you get 62,400 as the total monthly sales figure. See how easy it is, that is. You only need to type the formula. You don't need to do that complex pivot table stuff. You only need to type the sumIF formula and you are getting the same thing done, right? So I'm gonna have the rest of the 4 salespeople here as well, that is Robert, and otherwise it doesn't make any sense to create a summarized table, Alex, right? So we have the 5 salespeople here. I'm gonna show you another trick here. That is, like, I mean, yeah, you can just use the fill handle and copy down the formula until Alex, the row of Alex. Yeah, that's one thing. But let's say you had about 10,000 rows here and you need to copy down the formula, right? That's a very cumbersome task. Okay, so to avoid that, Excel provides you a wonderful functionality called paste special, right? In fact, in across all the Microsoft Office application, that is main ones are Word, PowerPoint and Excel. In all the three softwares, they provide this paste special functionality, and it comes in very handy at sometimes, right? So this is also a scenario like this. You just need to copy, that is Control C, the formula, and select the cell range where you need to paste it, and then press Control Alt V. That is the shortcut for paste special, right? Use Control Alt V, that is very convenient. Okay, so instead of having all paste all here, I'm going to select formulas and number formats. That means I'm going to paste only the formulas and number formats, nothing else, right? And then I'm going to hit OK. See, that's really wonderful. You just pasted all the formula to all the desired cells, right? That was very quick and efficient, and it saves a lot of time. Okay, so now we have the summarize table. I am gonna do some housekeeping here. I'm gonna have this thick outside border. That's my favorite one. Then I'm gonna highlight the headers like this, right? See, now you have a nice, very simple summarize table from our initial set of data, right? So for a thing like this, it's really not necessary to use a pivot table, right? It takes a lot of time and effort to do that using a pivot table, right? Yes, pivot table is a very powerful feature in Excel, and it's come handy in lots of situations. But there are some particular situations where you don't need that much of a sophisticated functionality to get things done. And this is a situation like that, and I'm sure you are going to come across so many instances where you need to get a simple thing done, and there's no point in using a sophisticated technique for that, right? So in such cases, you can use this sumIF function technique I just told you, and it will be really easy, and it will be saving you a lot of headache. Okay, now we have come to the end of our tutorial. Please like this video and share it among your friends. And if you still haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, please hit subscribe and hit the bell icon next to it. Thank you for watching, and see you in our next video.